Howdy, folks. Oh, goodness. Lately, there's so much energy coming through my core, my belly, my midline, my heart, my throat. I'm just trying not to get in its way, trying to let it do what it does. I have a feeling it's, Samskaras burning up or, conditioning dissolving. It's not something I'm doing, it's something I'm allowing to be done. Maybe you could say when I was doing IFS or when I was at the Vipassana retreat, I'm in a way nudging it along. Now it just comes. It's just like doing its thing, no matter what I'm doing. And I can try to distract from it, and it doesn't matter. It keeps going. I surrender to it. It doesn't feel so bad, but it takes. I mean, so yeah, it is no value judgment when I surrender to it successfully. I guess it's just intense sensations. There's no story attached that I know of. Not even necessarily emotions. Just sensation. It seems odd that sort of that's all I have to do now is nothing. Just try to make the most of sensations coming through, rather than like try not to make it worse. Um, but yeah, it feels like burning. It feels like burning away. Not in like a hot way, but in a, I mean, intense way. When you're angry, that hot feeling in your chest. It's in my guts. Like I say, it's not necessarily anger. Grief or sadness can feel a similar way, or fear. It's kind of all that just mixed up together. Or maybe none of that. I don't really know what it is. I can try to make something up ex post facto, but I can try to add a label to it, but, you know, it just is what it is. And a part of me is like, "Okay, when is this gonna end?" Another part of me is like, "I have to be content if it does this for the rest of my life because I really have no control over this." Really want control over this. Um, yeah, so that's what's happening now. I can feel sometimes touching into a sense of real presence without any I. And then the I, it's kind of resigned to not having control, and it's more and more genuinely accepting that this is what is. There's less of an instinct to escape, to be anywhere else, to imagine I could be anywhere else. There's less of that distrust or that doubt, and it's scary. Doubt and distrust feel like a little bit of control, and identity feels like a little bit of solid ground to stand on or to look from. And yeah, when I get too present, I can feel it kind of like trying to find a way to get through the cracks or around, to still sort of assert itself in some way, even if it's a feeble attempt. Even the attempt is noticeable. There's still a part of me, and maybe that's part of what's dissolving, that doesn't quite want to admit that this is real life. That it seems to think the whole non-dual thing is a lark or an experiment, and things will go back to normal at some point, quote unquote normal. Just kind of nonchalantly, yeah, kid, have your fun, but you'll get back to the real world before you know it. It really is a and another part of me, I think, is nonchalant in the other way, which just says like, "Oh yeah, of course, humans aren't real. We're part of an infinite consciousness," but maybe in a more conceptual way, because it's very different to sort of entertain that notion versus live it, embody it, realize it. And I came up with another analogy. I had the peace and joy sandwich where it's like true peace and joy is actually the lowest energy state. And then there's the sort of conditioning of everything being terrible and me being awful and whatever. And then up here is me trying to swim above that, like get away from it, like, no, everything, positive thinking, it's everything's fine. And then eventually I run out of energy and I'm back at what I think is the lowest energy state. I don't know how to get beyond the lowest energy state down to the real peace and the real joy. That's kind of my existence until, I mean, yeah, until sort of realizing that and working on it. Hopefully, for real, not as a lark. Um, Another analogy is you're swimming against this current. You're swimming, swimming, swimming as hard as you can, and every now and then you come to rest at this wall, and you try to go, and then you come to rest on the wall again. Um, Not realizing that current that you're swimming against is the current that's actually trying to take you back home. And so you have to kind of go with the current, let go into the current, crash through wall after wall, And you don't know what's at the end of the current. I mean, you don't know where that current's taking you. It could be hell. It could be something worse than your worst fears. You just don't know. That's the thing, you don't know. But I'm sick of being smashed against a wall. So here we go. See what happens.